Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Yvonne Winifred Yuji. If you're new here, my name is Yvonne, and today I'm just here to share how fasting healed bloating for me, and I also lost some few kgs off. And I healed cramping also with fasting. So I'm here to share. If you want to know more about that, please keep watching this video. And also, I do share about money, business, and fashion on this channel. So you can subscribe so that you don't miss out on those things also. Going back to how even this journey started, guys, I think I was eating poorly. I wasn't eating a balanced diet, and that led to bloating. So you might be asking, what is even bloating? So bloating, it's that feeling of you feeling like there's a lot of gas in your stomach every after eating, even when you've not eaten much, even when you've not eaten, a thing, that feeling of, feeling uncomfortable in your stomach, like there's too much gas, like you're always feeling like your stomach is always full, is always big, you can't wear tight clothes, like you just feel very uncomfortable. So I always felt like my stomach was always full, full. Like even when I've not eaten, I always just felt like it is full, and it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. I couldn't wear tight clothes. I couldn't wear anything that I felt like I was always wearing. Big stuff, jumpers. I didn't want to take pictures, guys. Yeah, I always felt big, for lack of a better word. I'm sorry if that word is triggering to you, but I always felt big. And guys, my stomach was even smaller than any other parts of my body. But inside there's that uncomfortability that you're always feeling when you're bloated. So I wasn't secure of myself. I wasn't confident in my clothes at all. I wasn't confident to take pictures. I wasn't confident, to show myself out there. And it was so bad. It was so bad. So that was the bloating. And what caused the bloating? To me, according to my realization, I wasn't taking water at all. I could take like 1 cup or 2 cups in a week, and that is when I only felt thirsty. I wasn't taking sodas instead of water, but I was always taking a lot of tea, chai. If you're from East Africa, I was always taking tea, and this tea always had sugar, and I was taking it late in the night. That is early in the morning and late in the night. So that wasn't doing my body well. You guys, I was always eating my dinner late in the night at around 10 p.m. That is when I'm eating. I was really eating poorly, and I was eating, I think, too many times in a day. Like, I was taking breakfast in the morning, lunch in the afternoon, like in the evening around 7 p.m. I would take tea, and also like at 10 p.m. I eat dinner with tea also. So, and in most cases, I was eating mostly junk foods, things that were not, building my body. I didn't take proteins. I didn't take fruits. My eating habits were really, really poor. So if you want to know about bloating, you can, research more about that. And also from there, from the poor eating habits, it led to gaining a lot of weight. I was I was just gaining weight without even realizing. And it was sad. It was really sad. Sometimes I could try this fasting. I could try different methods to reduce the weight off, to stop the bloating, and I couldn't. And I couldn't. But I think it was also because I was indisciplined. I could try something, it works maybe for 3 days or a week. Then after, I go back to the old system of eating junk and everything. So I think indiscipline was my main issue also. And I wasn't consistent with the things that I wanted to do to better my gut system. So that led to the continuous bloating, continuous gaining weight for years, guys. I'm saying for like the past 5 years. And thank God last year, I decided to become serious about fasting. And prior to this, as I've said, I used to try fasting. There's even a time I tried fasting for a week. Fasting, it was what is the name? Let me recall the name. I think I was I decided to wash off all the toxins from my body. I felt this group on Facebook, Healing Naturally Together, and this lady told us or taught us about how to heal a lot of diseases, a lot of ailments, and also to shed off the excess weight. And her process was that we had to do juicing, green juicing, juicing of fruits and vegetables only for 7, I think it was even 10 days, not 7 days, it was 10 days. You guys, I tried this for 10 days and it worked. Everybody was wondering. Everybody was like, what happened? What happened? You've reduced, you've become smaller. What happened? How come? Like, everybody was wondering, and it really worked, but it is not easy. If you want to know more about that, I think you can check out Healing Natural Together on Facebook. And so at that point, I realized that fruits and vegetables can really do something to a body or to any ailment, guys. At least from my own proof. Yes. So I decided to sometimes always be juicing, to be detoxing my body. By that is the word that I was looking for. Detoxification. Detoxing with fruits and vegetables. Raw, by the way, raw fruits and fruits are always raw vegetables in most cases. So that is what I did with Healing Naturally Together. We were like a group. We could choose out, some periods in a year and we could do the fasting. And it really worked, but it wasn't easy. You could not take any foods. You were only juicing the vegetables, different kinds of vegetables, and then you could just drink that juice for 10 days. You could only add water, only water, like a liter a day or 2 liters a day, what you could afford. And you couldn't eat after 8 p.m. You could only eat things like watermelons or beans or only proteins. So I tried that like 3-4 years ago, and it worked. And guys, come to COVID, that COVID process and the COVID years, guys, I gained all this weight that you're seeing on me. I was about 60 something and I increased to like above 70 kgs, 75 kgs, thereabout. And anyway, that was my story. And now let me tell you how fasting helped me. So, a few months ago, about 2-3 months ago, last year as 2023 was ending, I decided, a lot of things were going wrong in my life. I was like, God, what is happening? What is happening? I tried a lot of things. Business failed, everything was failing. Anyway, it wasn't failure, it was lessons learned, I should say. And towards the end of the year, I was like, this year, I think, let me just achieve something. Let me just do something that I really know that is in my control to achieve. So I was like, let me go for some fasting so that I shed off some excess weight before Christmas. That was my goal, I think around in November, October there. So I decided to do fasting. You might ask, which fasting did you do? So this is the fasting that I went for. I decided to stop eating after 7 p.m. And also, I decided to eat or to have my breakfast at around noon every day. At around 11 a, is it a.m. or p.m.? Anyway, 11 a.m. and noon every day. That was when I could take the breakfast, and also I could have my dinner, or I could stop eating at around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. on a day, latest 8 p.m. So guys, it wasn't easy. So I was like, you know what? Let me just start with the dinner thing first. So I told my whole people that, you know what, guys, no more dinner for me. So in most cases, if food is prepared early, I could eat by 7 p.m. That was my last meal. That is the first week. I decided to, approach the dinner thing first. So I was like, no more dinner, no more meals after 7 p.m. So in cases where I had lunch during the day, real food, like uh, at 7 p.m., I could just take tea and maybe some bread, something, a snack, and then sleep. And guys, for the first like 3, 4, 5 days, I felt very light. My stomach was so light. The bloating was all gone. My stomach was so, I felt so nice, you guys. I wish I could, explain that feeling. But if you try it, you will tell me. I felt so beautiful. I felt so nice. My stomach flattened. I did change my meals, but I just changed that time. So that means I was fasting for about 12 hours. So after the first week, I decided to increase. So in the next week, that's when I decided to start my breakfast at around noon. So from noon to maybe 7 p.m., that was my eating period. That was my only eating period. And I didn't change my meals. I was still eating the same. I was still taking my tea with sugar. And guys, the changes started. I had a lot of back fat and all that reduced. My stomach flattened. I could now put on my body hugging clothes that I couldn't for years. You guys, end up feeling, I felt so light. I felt so good just by, working on my eating period time. And the face fat also reduced. I started seeing changes slowly by slowly. And the best thing is, I realized that the next month, as my periods were approaching, I had no cramps. I just realized that, it's time, and without the cramping. And prior to that, I could sometimes feel the cramping, and that was the sign that, time is due. And you guys, I was like, wow, just fasting, not even changing meals. So when I realized that, I decided these first hours of the day when I'm not eating anything, that was for the breakfast or before lunch, before I could take my before noon. Okay, I decided to be taking about 1.5 liters a day. I'm just going to show you I bought. I think I'll also insert a clip of what I was eating. So from there, I decided to also include eating raw vegetables, eating fruits, a lot of fruits, especially early in the day. That is from noon. That is when I start eating. Actually, now I'm just used. I cannot eat early in the morning unless otherwise. But in most cases, I start my meals at around 11 a.m., noon, and also at when it is late at night. Uh, I stopped eating late at night. So if you want to heal or detox your body system, guys, fasting can really, really work. So I would say that, we've been in the holiday season, and that period, that is not easy to. Anyway, it is easy if you're disciplined. Anyway, if you decide that I'm going to do it, you can still do it, because still during the holiday season, I was starting my meals at noon just because there were a lot of fats. It is holiday, fats, cakes, sugars. It was a lot, and a lot of snacking. And I backslid a little bit, but right now I'm back on it, and I assure you that I'm going to come back as I continue to lose this weight off, and I'll explain more and more, and I'll show you my results more and more. And as this year is starting, I know many people want to always at least shed off the excess weight in the new year. So if you really want to, please, you can do fasting. Fasting will help you. It won't only shed off the excess weight, you will heal a lot of ailments in your body, a lot of discomforts, a lot of things you didn't know. There was something I was always feeling in my chest, but whenever I fast, whenever I reduce my eating periods, guys, that thing goes away totally. So fasting really works. It really works. So if you really want to start, I think I can recommend start by maybe fasting from maybe in the early morning up to noon, and also stop eating by 8 p.m. or by 7 p.m. Start as little as you can. By the way, that is one thing that I wasn't always disciplined in the past, because of the extensive fastings that I always started with. But if you're just starting, if you're a beginner, please start as slow as you can. You know, don't start with the hard fasting periods. Please start with a short one. Start with a short period. And from there, you will go on and, you know, do better. So that is what I really did. And if you really want to do fasting, I recommend you should try it. It is the natural way. It is cheaper or affordable, most affordable. And consult with your doctors in cases you're taking some medications on a daily. And guys, you will feel so great. You'll feel so great. So I'm back on it, and I just wanted to come here as an assurance that I'm going to do it. And I think, and I'm so sure you will be seeing the results, and I'll be sharing the results. So thank you so much for watching. Yvonne Winifred Yuji. Remember to like, share this video with somebody who might find it very useful, and also subscribe. See you.